good for man to be alone. Women need to be here. This world will be terrible if y'all did not have us, honestly, and vice versa. By the way, I would rather leave Earth if God took men away. I would go with them because I couldn't handle girls. They be one way, you know what I mean? But guys, they're chilled out, they're calm. We can talk about stuff. But girls, the octave goes and you know the behaviors. I know because I'm a girl, so I'll just disappear. With the guys, yeah. No, I don't think girls can be boring. I think we're really an excitable bunch. Men can be boring, but their wala is too much. You know what I mean? You're a girl, I'm a girl, so I know what we know what we are talking about. Something falls down, and the girl goes, "Oh my God, look at what fell! We have to clean." Something falls, and all the rice and the milk pours, and the man goes, "Oh, okay." But the girls have released the energy of, oh my God, what did you do? How did you do? Even when guys fight, it's chill. I like fighting with them. No, I mean, I don't like fighting. But if you fight with them, it's dead chill. Guys, I'm bigging you up now. No, but none of you saying anything. You're not like giving me the kudos. And, okay, even Pastor Abami ran away because he didn't. No, I'm joking. Silas, you're not even saying, like, oh, like nothing. Silas. Anyway, I need to read something. I'm waiting. Silas, I'm waiting. So I need to read something Silas sent me yesterday. I've been reading it to clients. Nobody knows his name. You don't have anything to say. Say thank you now. I said thank you that I'm bigging up the guys. What you but you're laughing. What? But I was bigging up the guys. What's up? So Silas is working with me on something else that he paid for. It's not free. See, so we finally got to it, and there's some homework I gave him, as always, because this is not about the things I say, it's about the work, the homework, or you're practicing it. Because until you go on a journey from point A to point B, you will never know what's on the road between point A and point B. People will sit down and tell you about it and say, oh, look at this on the road, look at that. But you will never experience it yourself. It's not the same as knowing it for yourself and being there. And I keep saying, one of the reasons I enjoy what I do is because I'm not thinking for you, but I'm sharing truth with you. I'm not thinking for you. I can't do that. It doesn't say as a man thinks in his heart, so is she. So is me. Me thinks, me am. He has given us his divine nature. And then how are we behaving? So if you have questions, please put in the chat, because Kemi might get all these things. All right. So somebody has just come in. Pastor Ebam is back. All right. Okay, so let me read what Silas wrote. I just said, so how is it going? How is it going? He has to do something 5 times a day for a period of minutes he has decided on. So I said, he had done the 3rd one, and I said, how is it going? Silas, do I have permission to read it, or should I keep it? It's the one I replied to again. There's nothing personal in it, but I need to take your permission. You see, if you've lived outside, and if you know some things, you need to ask that kind of. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I said, how is it going? Any revelations, new learning, etc.? And he puts yes with an exclamation mark. He puts yes, ma. And what did I tell you to meditate on? I think it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and verse 2. I believe it's just that. Then he goes, yes, exclamation mark, ma. The first thing I saw was the yes, exclamation mark. And I thought that was all. And just the exclamation mark was enough for me, because I was on something else and I just saw it come through. But you have to do something to see everything that shows up. But I didn't want to read it just then. So I just saw, yes, I was excited. That's why I enjoy what I'm doing, because I don't create the experience for you. You get yours direct from Jehovah. Direct. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can mess it up. So he wrote, yes, ma. The first thing I saw was that God created because it was in his nature. to create. Now, since we are gods, it's in our nature to create. I've had how many? One, two. Aside from Pastor Ayobami and Dr. Atiba, I've had is it 1, 2, 3 pastors on my program. I just finished with one. I did one last night. This was a lady. This one is a man today. The one of yesterday evening sent me a message very early. I am looking forward to our next session. You have changed. Look at what I'm meditating on now. I didn't tell her to meditate on it. She chose this. She picked a scripture. I didn't say do this. She said everything's just exploding. These are pastors. Do you know what bondage we have been in? The one I was talking to, he said, today was his first session. He said, please, how much is it to work with you? I did not tell him that. He chose it. I said, I will tell you on day 3, not now. Let's work. He said, whatever, I don't believe that my mind has changed in just one session. This is not me. Oh. I started crying. It's not me. I want you to understand. It's not Kemi at how to think. Don't you ever call my name and say, oh, because Kemi said this, I became. It's because you opened your heart. I'm just a cup. You know, it's a bottle. There's water in it. You want the water. Nobody's looking at the bottle and say, oh, I don't love it. But what's important to you is what's in it. You want to drink what's in it. So I'm just that vessel. And you hear these words. It's not that you don't know it. You know these things. The connection just hasn't been made. So when I heard God that day in 2006, go and teach my people how to think. I said, what does that mean? Everybody's thinking. We're already thinking. And he said that out of my breakup. The husband had just left. And I said, how can my marriage break? I was married to my pastor. We took care of other people. We took in wife and kids because they were fighting at home. We go in the middle of the night. I will take them. How many children will be in the house? Because we are fixing something. We'll fix it after church. I said, how can my marriage break? Hello? Because all this fake understanding that we all have. Oh, he's a pastor. He must be like, pardon? He said, and the only answer God gave me was because of how you think. I said, pardon. I didn't get it. Because nobody has ever told me that before. 1, I'd never heard it before. 2, and I've never been to church. And the pastor said, today we are going to learn how to think. Never. Then I didn't understand what mindset was. Never understood it. Still don't understand it. I teach on thought set, and it's your thoughts that set your mind. Just think of how a house is built. That's how to understand it. You can't say that's a house. How did it get there? How did it get set? Some bricks, some blocks, some steel rods, some sand. Something fixes it. So it's not just a house. Something sets our minds. And depending on the seed thought or the kind of material you use to build the house will determine what stands, what is set. So you've got to choose to think right. You've got to choose to think truth. You can argue about truth. Oh, that's not truth because it's this. I'm not here to argue with you. Anything you like, call truth. Let me explain this to you. You can't do anything about truth, and truth needs no defense. Truth is truth simply by being truth. So when the scriptures tell us, and Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, that you are looking at a man who is God. He's the truth. He's the way. Is he a way? Is he something, a way you can walk on? Is he life? Is he life? Is he truth? You've got to reread scripture and understand it differently by allowing God to open up the eyes of your understanding. So when I say God, we have to say God. We have to give him a power. Jehovah, the Almighty. In fact, when he says ye are gods, that word gods is Elohim. So he says we are Elohims. First time I heard that, and then I read it, and then I studied. I said, oh God. They are going to say there's something wrong with me. He said, then he explained to me, a cat gives birth to a cat. A lion gives birth to a lion. A woman gives birth to a child, human. And God gives birth to God. But we have lowered ourselves. We have said, oh, no, God is up there. He's not. He's in you. He's not up. He's not outside. He's actually in you. So based on what, I'm going to read the rest of what Silas wrote. Remember what I just said. In fact, he says the kingdom of God is in you. He's not outside you. We have control. We have authority. We have influence. But if you do not know, if you have wrong knowledge, truly, we will perish. It's standard. And it's not perish. We'll be annihilated. So the first thing I saw was that God created because it was in his nature to create. Now, what's always amazing to me is I've been reading these verses, these words, all these years. I'm a big girl now, and I'm just seeing this now. So it's not enough to just look at something and say, "Hey, God." Get into meditation. Another word for meditation is two words: deep thinking. It's not on the surface. You don't walk around and say, "Where is gold? Let me pick it up." Precious things, think about it, they are deep. Deep, they are hidden, but only hidden from the people who are either asleep with their eyes open. I don't mean physically asleep, they are asleep, or they are not seeking, or they're busy arguing. No, it's not like that. I don't believe that. I don't, it's okay. I'm not arguing with you. Believe what you like. I'm not responsible for that, not the results you get. But what I believe, I'm not even arguing with you about what I believe. I'm not going anywhere. I just said, somebody came to the house, a tailor. He said, "Oh, I like that thing you always do on TV." I said, "Me, TV, I'm not on TV." I said, "But so many people have told me about this TV I'm always on." The people using me. I said, "What are they?" Then he explained. He said, "Oh, okay. I think I remember going to this place and invited to." So I went and I Googled myself. He said, "I am on TV, on TV in Nigeria." I said, "I really have to talk to these people. I don't really know who they are." And I know I was going to be on TV, but they now use me as the ad for the on intro of this program. So the number of people that have told me, I'm thinking, oh God. So I said, "Oh no, it's just the intro." He said, "No, they introduce you, they say your name, and then you say some things." I said, that's a long intro, and I still have not seen it. Because in this house, I don't even know what on TV is. I don't watch TV. It's either Netflix, YouTube. I don't watch TV. Okay, there's DSTV, but I don't watch it. I don't even know how to operate it. I don't do it. So um he said, I brought that up to say, so it doesn't really matter to me what anybody believes. So yeah, I looked up my name. I went on Google. I said, "This TV, I want to put." He said, and he was thinking, "What's your name? Oh, what name?" I knew it wouldn't become Yoyeshola. I knew it to be Coach Kemi. So I said, "Is it Coach Kemi?" He said, "Yes, yes, it's Coach Kemi." I said, "Okay." So I went online, Coach Kemi on TV, and something came up on TVC. I remember I was invited to TVC, blah blah, 2 3 years ago, something like that. So I read it. And I didn't know it was on YouTube. The whole thing was on YouTube. So I was actually, I copied the link. I was going to put it in the group, totally forgot. So anyway, and I saw my ex-husband had put, in the comment section on YouTube. I said, "Eh?" And he was for what I was saying. Because some of what I said was, and people still fight me over it. But so some of the comments were people are fighting. She doesn't understand what she's saying. I think there are only 11 comments. She doesn't understand what she's saying. If she knew this, a doctor, a pharmacist, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't understand. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's on YouTube, my yes. I was going to answer the ones that were for me. I just clicked like. The ones that were not for me, I didn't say like. I didn't say dislike. I just left it because I'm not fighting you. The ones that understood what I was saying, I just said thank you. Because you don't have to fight. It's not, this is the way. You see, there's something I've always had on my heart. And that is, Lord, there is something that makes us, that can keep us in agreement. I said, what is it? For years, I said, we don't ever have to argue. We can be in one accord. And I realized it's the truth. Once you say this is water in this bottle, I believe it, and the rest of us believe it, it will be water. It's not negotiable. But once we say, this is water, and someone says, "No, it might be just a colorless sweet liquid. No, it might be this. No, I don't believe it." Then we have divergence. You are one with God. You need to remember that. Why? Because if you are not one with him, that means you are two. So when God goes this way, you go that way. You can't say you are one and go two separate ways. So you are one with God. You now have to come round to it. People call it wrap your mind around. You need to come. Understand. So that means God is making a decision for this. You too are making the same decision. You're not fighting. Because I remember growing up, well, I argue with God. God, I don't like this. Where did you drop from? God, you don't like what? Who? Where did that? It's because of a lack of understanding. The same thing, the Holy Spirit is in you. Do you know that the Holy Spirit cannot dwell in an unholy vessel? You. So you are not unholy. You are holy. When that came to me this morning, I said, Jesus, the number of gems and fire we have left because we don't think. God did not make you to suffer. You shouldn't. None of us should suffer. We shouldn't be, hey, how will this work? I want to travel. I don't have the money. It should never happen. It should never happen. It shouldn't be. It's not actually, because that's not what God created. We, with our thinking, make it so. So this is the rest of what Silas wrote. And so let me read the first paragraph. The first thing I saw was that God created because it is, he said it was, but I understood. It is in his nature to create. And he wasn't going about looking for resources to create. The invisible that became visible was inside of him, or rather, is inside of him. The things you desire and the things you want, forget need. Need brings all these connotations of, I need this, desperation. No, the things you want. It doesn't say the things you need. And the Lord shall supply all my need. Go and check up the meaning of that need before you fight me over it. And whatever you find, you find. Believe what you want to believe. I'm not arguing. But it's not about need, I need. It's just horrible. What you want, it says he will grant you the desires of your heart. It doesn't say, what's your desire? It must be with the desire of God. Stop it. I remember I used to pray for years. Lord, I want to be like you. Lord, I just want to be like you. I don't want to fight people, be rude, be disrespectful, be dismissive, be hurting. I just want to be like you because all those things are not in you. One day he said to me, you are like me. You are as I am. I didn't understand. Yes, but I didn't get it. So I just packed it and I kept praying. Because when you say I want to be like you, that means you are not like him. When you say, I will become, as a man thinketh, so he becomes. No, you don't become. You are. Get it right. You are. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. It's instant. Even physiologically, chemically, structurally, you change bodily. That's the power of thought. That thought, it makes you your thought. So he said, and he was going up, and he wasn't going about looking for resources to create. The invisible that became visible was inside of him, is inside of him, is inside of you. God created because abundance is inside him, not a 150 trillion. Do you know what the earth will look like if all of us got this? Eh? If all of us got this, at least in Nigeria, the West will be coming to us if they don't get it. We'll be teaching the rest of all the other countries in the continent of Africa. That's my vision. That's my mission. I know. That's clear. This thinking thing, eh? Once you get people to, and it's not all of us, it says the poor you will always have. Because some people believe they should be poor. Let me, okay, I won't say the name of the person, obviously. The person is not here. And this person came on a coaching session and said, I do not remember the question I asked, and he said something about he is that he likes to be in the background, and I that got all my antenna up. Like, why is my antenna up? Why does he want to be? So as I've been coaching, by the way, I hear God. I've always heard him. I've always done prophecy, blah blah, word of knowledge, all those gifts and all that. But this one is now it is potent. You just say one thing and I can already see, read. So I don't do the and God. No, no, no. Oh, brother, wait. I just heard the Lord. Don't do that. It's just part of as we are coaching. So I say, I think this and I think that. I don't go into all that esoteric, and then your voice changes. And I heard the Lord. I don't do that, but I just pick it. So I picked it. Like, why is this saying it needs to be in the background? And I never understand it as I go on. So he said, well, I just like to be in the background. But I knew I had to ask the question why, because people can be in the background. But why was this an issue for me at this time? So I asked him. I said, why do you want to be in the background? I said, oh. I said, why? He said, oh, because of the story of Saul and David. I have never heard this before. And I was laughing at him, not even with him. I said, what kind of nonsense, stinking thinking is that? You know what he said? He said, when David finished killing Goliath, the women were singing and dancing. Saul has killed his thousands. David has killed his 10,000s. And from then on, David started to have problems. So he now knows that when people are wealthy, they will have problems. I said, Pardon? I said, what kind of understanding is that? I said, where did you get that from? Who told you that? What kind of belief is that? What are you thinking? So I said, so that means Bill Gates has problems. Mr. Jeff Bezos has problems. Mr. Virgin Atlantic has problems. The presidents of countries have problems. I said, it doesn't work like that. Uncle. Stop that sticking. I said, he has to end today. I said, so being God promised us life and that life in abundance is going to cause you problems. I said, how can you say this? So there's some thinking that you should check out your own thinking. That why are you talking like this? Why do you believe that? Why do you do this? And then Silas carries on. God created because abundance is inside of him. When you think like that, you will see that nothing is beyond you. There are thoughts that you've kept in your heart and you've just put to one side. You say, one day, what does that mean? With it. Make that invisible thing because ain't nobody else can see it, but you can. This huge conglomerate, this big thing. I remember the name of my company was How to Think. Then I said, no, no, no. That's to change. How to Think Consulting. Then I said, no. There was something about global, but I kept looking at myself. Global. This one, you have not even done local. You want to be doing global. I was saying it. So I started to go, so come local, national, international, global. Came this global. So I put it global consulting group. How many times have I changed it? Then one day this year, was it this year? Earlier this year, I heard How to Think Global Solutions. I've never heard it, never thought it. I heard it. I said that's the name, and that's how I registered it here in Nigeria. So you decide where you want to go. Keep it because we are global. No, we are going to be. We are. We already are. If you can see it, it is so. It's not going to be so. It is just in the realm of the spirit, in the invisible. Now, birth it. Push. When you are birthing a child, is you are pushing the child out. You are not forming. The child is not forming. It already is. There is a whole child inside of that egg and sperm when they meet. A whole everything of who that child will be at 90 years old, at 80, that child. So you just see it. And then when it's time to birth it to come, you don't work at it. You don't do the I'm forming the baby. No, no, no. When it's time to push a whole child. And the last thing he wrote is God created because abundance is inside of him, not because he has all things, but because he is all things. I read here, all I put was just fire, 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 flames. I said, yeah, that was the only reply I could put. Like, and my mind was like, oh God, I need to meditate on every sentence. Yeah, he's serious. And I was so excited that he got this by himself. It wasn't me, it was between him and God. You see, I remember one day, in 2008, I wrote it down. God said, it's no longer a gold mine, it is now a gold mind. I said, pardon? He said, men teach men to mine for the gold on their mind. Eyes. And God. There are things he tells me and I just put on one side because it's a bit too much for me. My understanding is not yet there. I get it now. Based on that, I wrote a book, Grace, Grace, and Gold. I went to research what it means to mine for gold. How do you mine for gold? What's the purest form of gold? This is fine gold. And people that invest in fine gold, they don't touch it. They just store it. They just store it. It's like almost like powder, but it's not powder. You can see it. And they just go look at it, close the safe or whatever, and go away. But the process, if you go through that process, you will find the gold on your mind. You need to mine. The deepest gold mine, I believe, is in South Africa. It is 6 miles below ground. That is deep. God did not put gold on the sidewalk. Neither did he put diamonds where it would be shining here and everybody be. No, no, you do the work of entering into his rest. Not this work. Oh, hustle, not muscle work. I am God. One with him. And you think of the results you want, not the process. How long will that take you? You want to buy a house, you want to buy an island, you want to own a house in Dubai, you want to own a house in the States, you want to own a house in UK, you want to own quite a few in Nigeria so you can rent them out, you can use them as schools, you can help people, you want to own. How long are you going to save for? Or how much work are you going to do to amass that kind of money? Like what happened to Zainab? The next month, she said, Annie, God, this first prize is my daughter's. We didn't cheat. We did it the right way. All these scaredy cats were okay. I want it. Did she work for it? No. Did she know she will meet her cousin on the way? No. Did we know how? We don't care. We want it. Do your children come? For those of you who have children, Daddy, are you going to buy this for us? Yes. Okay, Daddy, do you have enough money? How are you going to get to it? Do you have my size? How many loaves of bread? Do you know how much it is? Children don't do that. Daddy, you're going to buy. Thank you. Well, are you bringing it today? Yes. And that's it, and they go. That's what the scriptures mean by let the little children come to me, unless you have faith like one of these little ones. They are not asking questions about the how, the process. That is so much. It's too heavy. It's just busy. Do you know how huge the universe is? Or forget the universe, just your locality. How many people show up, come, go, come, go? What if Pastor Yobami will say, hey, how do I fix this thing? How do I want to do it? Hi, how? When? How? I want to fly. I've never flown. I need to save money. For how long? Think of what you want. So when God spoke in verse 3 of Genesis 1, he said, let there be. Because he had seen what he wanted. It's not just your expectation. Thank you, Genikachi, is that you must see and continue to see and live there, live there, such that when your mouth opens about you, or somebody's mouth opens about you, you don't say anything. Anytime I get into a cab, I had to go in one earlier today. Oh, this country, look how everybody came for petrol every time. And then this guy decides that he doesn't want to stay on the queue. He's going to drive on the wrong side of the road. I said, don't do that. Let's stay in the queue and turn. Slow down, wait. Just wait for if this car, if it doesn't go. Then another car went on the wrong side. And they said, thank you, Jare, and he followed him. I said, is it Tinubu that's driving on the wrong side of the road? He said, Nigeria, Nigeria. I said, look at what you're doing tonight. I always say it to them. I said, look at what you're doing. Is it Tinubu that's driving? Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. Is it Tinubu that's driving like this? Is it every member of government that we say they are stealing? Are they the ones messing up the road? They can't answer. But the money. I just keep quiet. After I do, when they do something wrong, I keep quiet. Nigeria will never be good. That one I have to answer. I said, don't be talking like that around me. It's not right. I see a good Nigeria. I said, then stop praying for it. I said, you can't go and pray in the morning, in the night, go to a church on Sunday, go on, change Nigeria, and then come out. Nigeria will never be good. I said, decide which one you want. You see how people think? They think poverty, and then they think abundance, and they think they can keep thinking that way and things will change. It doesn't work like that. The laws of the universe don't care what you are thinking. It will just flow. Gravity does not care that you know about it or not. It will just heat. The sun energy will never make you cold. The sun will never make you cold. The laws God has put in the universe are absolute. That's the beauty about this. You don't want this option, that option, this option, that there'll be confusion, but there is one. That's the way to think. That's exactly what Zainab did. I said I want this. And what was the evidence of first prize? At least one of them was you get 40K. And her cousin did not give her a voucher, gave her cash. I shall shut up here. Does anybody have any comments? Do you want to share anything? Do you want to disagree with something? Oh, I didn't know when Winifred left. All right, who wants to share? Zainab, you cannot hear me. Can anybody else hear me? Zainab says she cannot hear me. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so Zainab, you probably have to pop in and pop out, or maybe something will change. Yeah. Ginikachi can hear me. Dr. Julia can hear me. Taker can hear me. So maybe Zainab, you need to go in, go out and come back in. So let me see if anybody has written anything in the group. Well, you're persevering, Pastor Yobami, so well done. Maybe you need to get a MiFi. That's what I did. I got me a MiFi. I can't be struggling with all this. No, can't be struggling. So I'm waiting. Thank you, Radhika. I'm waiting for comments. So I don't know why people do this. When I am always waiting, everybody keeps quiet. You want me to just carry on? It's work, oh, talking is work. So ma must rest. I've been talking since 6 a.m. I've had some breaks today, but so I'm waiting, guys. Please share. Silas. And there are some people have got this thing. First time I spoke to Silas, not the first time I spoke, he wrote something, I think it was in the men's group. And I said, this guy has got something. You know the people that are on the wavelength. You know they are there. There's another client I have. She wants more sessions from me. I said, then you need to pay me more. I don't do it this way. And she said, but you know this is my life. This is how I am. She's right. When she her own energy is obvious. It's there. But only if you know, only if you are used to that kind of thing. So I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait quietly, gently. Yeah. Life is our spirituality, creativity, and physicality. Okay, the first introduction of God is creator. Creativity is innate in God, so it is in us. So it does not matter what you desire. Just stay in the place of meditation and create it. Like it showed up for God, it will show up for you. It's a law. Zainab, I hope you can hear me now. Everybody is quiet. Are we going to be staring at? No, are you going to be staring at me because I'm the only one on video? Only Pastor Yobami is writing. Everybody else, are you asleep? What is the place of confession in creating anything? God pronounced the creations to be. All right, not the way we've been taught what confessions are. So one thing I've noticed, I don't know if I've said it to you all, is that you can make as many confessions as you like, affirmations as you like, but if you do it without thinking on them, they are useless. Because we have done it for years, haven't we? I don't have to prove anything. I don't even have to go into the Greek of it. What are you saying? Have you thought on it so that it comes to pass? So that's one of the reasons I disliked vision boards, because there was a time it was all the rage. Vision boards. So me too, I made vision board, but I wasn't doing anything. Cut magazine, this, put picture. I'm not saying don't do it, but it didn't do anything for me, because then I didn't realize I need to think about this thing. It irritated me and annoyed me that it was on there for a solid year and nothing happened. None of it came to pass. So I said, what are they doing now? So I attend this, I bought this. Because there was no thinking. Everybody seems to create all this stuff and it will just happen and you just do this. And it doesn't work like that. At least doesn't work for me. Maybe you're so if you do not think on your affirmation or your confession, you are just wasting your time. Period. That's what I know. So you can have affirmations, you can have confessions. I have 6 on pink post-it notes on my bathroom mirror. One of them says, how to think thinking schools are thriving here in Lagos. And when I read it, it reminds me, go and sit down and see it. See the buildings. It's not virtual, it's real. Live. See the buildings. I see a lot of sand though. Ground, not third. So maybe that means they are in villages. But how to think, I see people coming, young people. So it reminds me. So the more I think on it, the more I see it. It's thriving. I didn't say successful. I say it's thriving. You get me? I say it's thriving. It's not successful. So let me get the confession. Yeah. So you can make confessions, but if you don't think on your confessions, they mean absolutely nothing. So I know some people teach that confessions, confession, confessions are, how did they put it? That the more you say it, the more you say it, like when you look up the meaning of the word meditate or meditation, one of them, it says to mutter. So you're muttering what you're saying. You know, what's the wall in Jerusalem? There's a wall where if you visit Jerusalem, I haven't been, they say you find the rabbis with that hat in Israel, and they're humming and they're going, and they're doing like that. That's how they are meditating and they're muttering. In fact, the way they do this, the tassels, the wailing wall. Thank you, Tega. And in the tassels, those little things are the like strings at the end of those white shawl things that some pastors use and all. They write scriptures in them and they tie it up so that during the day they can pull it out and say, this is what they are meditating on, this is what they are thinking on. So it's talked about somewhere in the Bible that that's what it means. But what I'm saying is, if your confession, actually, I guess the aim of confession is to get you to a place where you meditate on the words you are confessing. Oshe, thank you, Silas. Hey, you are, yes, the talit. Oshe, it be like say you get out something. Oh, take her. Hey, whoa. It be like say you don't they use them. Oh. You know when people bring those things that you have to use, they say you have to wear it does this for you, you have to do that. I have issues with you know why? Because then I am my in-laws are Israeli, your in-laws are Israeli. I want to know you. Where do you live? Say your address. I have to visit you. Your in-laws are Israeli. What can we say? When people say, oh, when you wear this happens, when you do me, I don't like it. In the Old Testament, it's okay. They had to wear this, they had to do this, they had to do. But auntie, uncle, that means I'm dependent on that thing for so and so to happen for me. So God is out of the way. It is this carnal, physical thing that if you don't touch this, if you don't, no, no. Sorry. I'm stronger than that. What God has given me is more powerful. No. It says, I think it's in James, it says confession of faith, because there's a place we got it from. I give the charge in sight of God who knoweth all things, and before Christ Jesus, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good confession. That's not it. There's a bit where it says, I think it's in James, confession of faith. What is it? Confession of faith. Confession. At least I think that's what it is. So I like the answer Silas gave. It's for us to, let me read it again. Actually, I guess the aim of confession is to get you to the place where you meditate on the words you are confessing. Because without meditation, it's like eating food and not digesting it. I call it the digestive process of thought, knowledge, wisdom. Let me pull it up because I have it. Yeah, I can share my screen. Knowledge, digestive process. Working on it. There you go. How many times have I done this digestive process? How many times have I done it? Okay, so there you go. I think it was one day, it was just a beautiful download alongside research. I just said, God, thank you for this. So here, let me share it. There you go. There you go. So anytime I mention it, this is what I'm talking about. The digestive, I'm sure you can see it, the digestive process of thought. Analysis, prevention, treatment. There was something that was going on about in the mental ill health space, because I got attacked a lot for that and I still get attacked for it. So if I had not had, although I didn't know I was ill then with mental ill health, because I wanted to say crucify. I wanted to commit suicide twice in my life. My marriage is bad. My marriage is bad. I would have just broken my legs and I've been wheelchair. I've been bad. Oh. But anyway, so if I had not been there, I would have said, okay, but I know what it is. So anybody can say what they like. So I was looking at the analysis of the kind of thinking you're going through, the prevention of stinking thinking, and what the treatment is. So I can't remember how I got. That's all I can remember. But when God gives you things, write them down, write them down. But I remember knowledge, understanding, wisdom. That was and I remember studying the four. I found out about the four bellies of a cow, and that was how God taught me meditation and this analysis and prevention. So knowledge, understanding, wisdom. Knowledge, you ingest it like food. You get information. It's also called data. I think I added that much later. But TTUR is the third fundamental of how to think to win. There are 52. And it says, take total and unconditional responsibility. That this is the knowledge I've had all my life. This is where I am going with it, because it's the only knowledge I had. There is nothing else that I could think on. Is what I have that I think on. Now, if you want more knowledge, you go seek for it, you go listen for it, you take it, you check it out, and you flush the rest away in the toilet because you don't want to, you don't like it, or whatever. But you can't say you know everything or you know about this when you have not gone into take. Even if I used to be that person, no, I'm born again. Is what I know that's correct. I was arrogant. Anyway, and then the next thing after that is understanding, where when you ingest, you digest, you get revelation from information, and then you decide. That's the fourth fundamental of how to think. You decide, what am I going to do? Now, just you have suicide, decide. That side bit from the etymology means the death of everything else but this thing. So suicide is I kill myself. Decide is I've decided for this blue diary, and I have I have killed this brown notebook. I don't want this brown I don't want to do anything with this brown notebook. But this diary, I want this diary. So this no longer exists as far as I'm concerned. That is what a decision is. And that's how you prevent stinking thinking. Because you make a decision, I'm going to think this way. And when the stinking thinking comes, you go back. I remember when I started this thing, I was afraid because I thought I was going off the rails. I said, ain't nobody talking like this. And if there is, I haven't found them yet. I said, Kemi, you're going cuckoo. Seriously. I, I I I got to a point where I said, ah, but God, if I can just meditate, I can make things happen. I don't need you. I don't need to pray. I remember saying that. I said, I don't need it. I just sit down, cross my leg, meditate myself into some better. And God quietly said, I remember that morning, He quietly said, then you will not have me as part of what you do. I won't be there at all. There'll be no my power, nothing. You will be grinding. You just find that you'll be grinding, hustling, grinding. And then the treatment is to have wisdom. So when you ingest, you digest, then you consume. These three is the process of meditation. Ingest the scripture, digest it. So when you have an affirmation, ingest it, digest it, then consume it. Somebody has written, so oh, there's a chat. Okay. Pastor, everything is a product of thinking, including confession. Is data not a product of, yeah, knowledge, information, data, yeah, they're all in one. When you get data, you've got the knowledge. When you've got information, you've got the knowledge. So knowledge. Is data not a product of course? God thought and God thought and declared. Is confession not praying or declaring your meditation? Exactly what prayer is. Prayer is declaring your meditation. And um once you understand how to think, your prayers will be short because you've seen it. And all you are mostly doing is giving God thanks. You're not saying, oh yes, and God, the how to think is cool. I like the mod there. And then the door should be, you've seen it. You're just saying, oh God, thank you. And then you cannot pray for other people, help them to see their own. Then if God has shown you their own, then you thank God for it. And you keep seeing it for them. Keep seeing things for humanity. Because just like, I don't know if I told you, okay, I haven't talked. So on Monday, I have this prayer meeting, not Monday. No, it wasn't Monday. Tuesday. Tuesday. It was yesterday morning. And so somebody in the prayer meeting said, God thought of light and declared it after. I want to get to the place of confession. Yep. And I'm taking my time getting there. And I've noticed the way I get to the place of confession is not let there be, because I'm not there yet. It is, I know this thing exists. I've made it. It's inside me. It's come out of me. I'm exactly like God, so I've made it. Because remember when we did the feather and the book, instantly your hand that held nothing became heavy. Instantly. Instantly. It didn't, as I'm saying, put 3 books, put instant. So every time you have a thought, it's an instant physiological change, not just in your body, but spiritually. It's instant. It's like saying you plant a seed and it refuses to grow for 10 days. Even though the oak tree does not show up above ground from the acorn seed for 5 years, it is growing, people. It is growing. It is growing. It just hasn't shown on top. It is growing. Everything happens instantly. Can you imagine if it doesn't happen instantly? God is waiting. I've told you to come, it's coming. It's not coming. That vocabulary is wrong. That grammar, when it comes to it, it's not coming. It is. And until you know it is and you live there, you live there, you are not at the same energy level. So even though it exists, the invisible that you can see will not be visible. That's what you are doing when you are looking not at the things that can be seen. You're not looking at what you can see. You're looking at what you cannot see because they are eternal. Your creative manufacturing plant is not a physical manufacturing plant. It's an invisible one that nobody can touch. No one can destroy. That's why this physical plane cannot be your reality. It can't. Because if you cut off the tree, that's the end of the tree. If you mow the lawn, that's it. If somebody steals this notebook, it's gone. Although, when it comes to stealing from the righteous, it's a different matter. It needs to be returned sevenfold. But if you don't know that, These three, the process of meditation. So you have information, revelation, then transformation. That's when your body is, your organs are using the food that you've eaten. And so that's take total and unconditional responsibility, decide, then work. Work is the fifth fundamental of how to think to it. And it starts with a ready price, take total and unconditional responsibility, decide and work. And based on those five is where I get the 52 and some other words. But these first five are important. Then you are analyzing. So you need to be a hearer. To get the knowledge, you need to be a hearer, because you can't get into analysis without books, seminars. And then the smallest thinking work, which is here, the smallest thinking work is when you go for gold. You are mining for the gold on your mind. You're not rushing. Oh, I need to do this. You're coming down. But I remember when I started this, I used to think time is going. Time is going. I can't be coming down. Let me quickly do. So it was all about the do. When I started teaching how to think, people thought it was the doing. So they would run away to go and do. I said, we are talking about thinking. Shh, calm down. You want to get into the office and the work is done in what used to take you 2 days now takes you 1 hour. And everybody notices, and your CEO notices, and then they start to notice you. Like, you didn't apply for a promotion. They are calling you. How are you doing this? Because you've meditated. You've gone to God and said, thank you. You know the power in you is the power of God. You know it's not this or your human intelligence or how smart you are. Your smartness compared to God's divine intelligence, infinite intelligence, it doesn't even feature. So don't be carnal. Unlock your thoughts to do whatever you need to do. Some things I need to change because your thoughts are not locked. Unlock is a coaching expression. I need to change that. It's not locked. Thinking work. So I use the success thinking process. Is that what it's called? I have created something called SCP. Success thinking. I've forgotten what the P stands for. Oh, it was on my meaning thinking machine. I've forgotten what it's called, but there is a process, a success thinking pattern or program or paradigm, one of them, where I teach different words, and there are 7 or 8 of them, where instead of a business plan, you create a success thinking plan. That's what it is, a success thinking plan, SCP. It's not your business plan that makes it happen. It's your success thinking plan. Your success thinking plan will not create your business plan, and it will not before the bank sees it. If you want to go and get a loan from them, if that's how you do it, before they see it, they will be saying, we want what you do. It was God that told me to do a PhD. I didn't do it. I didn't want to do a PhD. I'm not a school person. I'm not a studious. Like, I hated school from primary to university. Didn't like it. I got a 3rd class in microbiology and parasitology in the University of Lagos. 3rd. It remains small. I for enter pass that she just did it. I was busy reading the Bible. See, I study. I will study close to the end. And then I can't study. I didn't know how to study and keep things. I had to cram. And if it's too much, I get fed up. So I was carrying over, carrying over, carrying. I did 6 years in microbiology and parasitology. I did prelim and then 3 years. Oh no, Kemi did 6. My junior sister and I graduated at the same time. I'm 3 years older than her. We graduated together. Then I found out that I enjoyed microbiology and parasitology, got an ace, triple star, whatever you call it, with my final project and the write-up and whatever. But that was about it. So expand your thoughts so to prevent it is to expand your thoughts. Don't get in there. So use a success thinking plan that will create your business plan, and it's the bank that'll be saying come. So the reason I was talking about God told me to do a PhD is it was the current university I'm in now that invited me. They said, we want to see what you're doing. We like your proposal. Send it to us. I didn't ask them. Kinikachi says, I'm currently in a situation where my kids wrote an entrance examination into a military school. There are 3 stages and they performed excellently well. At the time the final list for admission was released, their names weren't on that list. We worked hard, thought right about the admission, and they really wanted to go to that school. I felt heartbroken and decided to make them write another exam. Oh God, why did you do that? Examination into a private school, but my kids are not having. I don't blame them. Well done, kids. Now we are waiting for the supplementary list and living in the place of that admission. I'll come and share the results of our thinking. Well done. That's exactly what Zainab did. Don't change it. Laws don't change because sleet fell when it should be snow or sleet fell when there should be no rain. It doesn't matter. You can't deny, except you cease. He said they'd be looking for me. My kids got into primary school in the UK, and of course, the school was across the road because they built schools near in communities. But then they gave the last born, my daughter got in. The last born, there's only 19 months between them. The next year, he didn't get into the same school. So they gave him another school, which is quite a distance from the house. I mean, we could walk, but it's a bit of a distance, maybe 20, 30 minutes, or catch a bus and all that. But this one is just across the road, walk down the road, cross, we're in school. So they say you can appeal. You cease the surname and you are not giving my son. So I stayed in the house. They said, write appeal. I took the letter that they sent and I said, if only they knew who my father was, I'll never forget that day. If they knew who my father was, they would have given my son the first choice, primary school. So I wrote my appeal. Guess what happened? Taking my daughter into school with I think my son was with me. The head, white woman, saw me walking. I didn't even know she knew who I was. She said, Mr. Ibo, is that your appeal letter? I was still walking in. She was right at the entrance. I was still walking in through the gate. Mr. Ibo, is that your, how did she know? Is that your appeal letter? All right, Mr. Ibo, I will take it, and your son is in this school. Finish. I didn't have to, you know what I'm talking about. Stay where you are. People told me, they won't give you, my own son is here. My daughter said, now you want time. Yeah, I don't want this. You don't know what will happen. My daughter, when they did their year 6 exams to get into secondary school, we put her for grammar school. People are telling me it's hard. She was the only one in her school that got into a grammar school. And I wasn't praying, hey, God, oh God, move, God. Hey, it doesn't work like that. God has made it easy. So expand your thoughts to then use the treatment wisdom. Use and check to see that it is good. Make sure that when you digest food, it is working for your body very well. It's not just it just happened. Make sure it's working. So this is what God was teaching me as I created this. Then release those thoughts because your organs, when they are working well, they are released to keep your body sturdy and your body strong. So to have knowledge is also to imagine why there's some things in the chair. Why this knowledge? What is it about this knowledge? You use your imagination. Then you innovate. You are preventing. Innovation is not special. Innovation is creating what we don't see out of what we currently see. But there are levels where you take your time, you dig deep, you mine for the gold on your mind. God has put gold on your mind. One of my clients just told me a few minutes ago, just before I came on, I said, do you have any, is there any fears or was it his future we talked about? And he said, there is a project God gave me since 2012 has not had. That almost broke me. I said, God, what are we doing? So he said, don't worry, I'm coming. We'll fix this tomorrow. Your next session, we'll fix this. And then you are inspired. How? Inspiration. Use your imagination muscles, use your optimism muscles. You are blessed, empowered to prosper. Ephesians 1:3. Thus, you are equipped already to have the right results. It is cast in concrete. It can't change. I don't care what your gift is, what you don't know, what you know, what you are able to do, how tall you are. It's irrelevant. There was one lady I worked with this morning, and I just felt in my heart I needed to tell her. I said, you are amazing. I said, God created every human being amazing. Don't you ever think less of yourself. She had um um too many phobias. She didn't say fear. She said, I have a phobia of this, phobia. Young lady, young lady, young lady. I said, look, you are just amazing, going somewhere to shake places up and make other people's lives better. I said, don't you ever look down on yourself because daddy this mom are irrelevant. Let's move forward because this is how God created you. Yeah, so that's digestive process of thought was here. FMRS formula. FMRS stands for be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue, then dominate formula. So I heard somebody teach something. This was like 2017 or so. I created this stuff. Yeah, so the Bible says be fruitful. Jesse Duplantis says always producing. Yeah, I was listening to Richard Ogunle. He said produce. To multiply means always. Can you imagine we're supposed to be doing this and we are sitting down saying, hey, we won't have your budget. I'm really working. Yeah, I'm not sure if it work. Maybe it won't work. What's that? Replenish the earth. That means use what you've got, then refill it. That means distribute. Subdue. If you don't have exceeding abundantly above, if you're not even expectant of it, if you don't believe God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that you always having all sufficiency in all things, may about, you see, all grace abound towards you. That word grace stands for, the Greek says the influence of God on your heart. And oh no, it has one beautiful, amazing meaning. It is absolutely delicious. Let me tell you what it is. I need to tell you what it is. 1 Corinthians 9:8. So it's that word, and God is able to make all grace. 2 Corinthians 9:8. Sorry, it is 2 Corinthians 9:8. And that word grace is a beautiful meaning. It means it means the divine means the divine influence upon the heart and its reflection in the life. The divine influence. God is able to make the divine influence upon your heart and its reflection in your life abound to you. God is able to make all grace abound to you. That word abound means a super abundance of quantity and superior quality of anything. Is also the same meaning for the word sufficiency. Yeah. He said to superabound in quantity or quality, be in excess, be superfluous. How can we be living less? It is a lack of knowledge. How can we be scrambling for this scrambling? It shouldn't be. Because God don't scramble. He don't scramble. What are we scrambling for? I apologize for. Oh, Dr. Louisa, hello, sweetheart. Oh my gosh, 3 hours sleep. Ooh, God bless us all. But this time slot, sorry, ma'am. It just worked for 2 people in the States, actually, one in Canada and one in Florida, I believe. Please, my battery is giving warning. Okay, ma. Okay, but you're still there. Oh, it's all right. We are done. I will put up the recording. I always suggest you watch it 2 days later simply because you've heard it before. You're probably not going to hear it yet. I've been told that it takes 17 times of hearing something to be able to know that you've heard it. But we are still 6 p.m. on Saturdays, ma'am. So good to have you here. Yeah, she brightens up the place even when I can't see her. So yeah, we'll stop this. And any questions, anything else, we can go. And she put some flowers. Oh my gosh. So anything to say, anything to share? Thank you to everyone who's been sharing on their days. It has been amazing. I've been learning so much. Some of the things you share, like what Pastor Ayobami shared today, I haven't finished. What I tend to do is I go back and I just sit and I look and I'm thinking. What Silas wrote, I'm just looking. I'm thinking on it. Like I'm learning. Because you can't get everything, just you. But of course, you can if you want to. You just need to do what you need to do. You just need to live as God, talk as God, be at that vibrationary level. No different. No different. It's been a beautiful journey. Yeah. This cohort is really different for me. I guess because I'm learning so much more. I am learning, not just learned. I'm learning so much more. So, all right. Well, if nobody has anything to say, we can all go. And some of you are is your morning, and some of us is afternoon. Yeah. And Dr. Louisa can go and get more sleep because we've got to keep you pretty. You need that beauty sleep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Lord is with you. I'm going to call you immediately after this, Pastor Ayobami. I'm not going to call you Dr. Lisa. I want you to go to sleep. Yeah, you need to go to sleep. And who else was I going to call? Somebody came to mind. Yeah, Guinea Catcher. I need to talk with you too. But I know you're at work, Guinea Catcher, so I'll wait till evening, or you just let me know what time I can call you, and that's cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this was amazing. Thank you for your Zainab, thank you for what you said. I keep telling people about it. I say, see, look at God. Look at God. Oh, God. There is no way you could have planned it that it would have happened. No way. Peace out. Peace out to you too. Stay strong, everybody. Thank you for coming, Dr. Louisa. Bye.